Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Smooth Brain EDH, where we make the smoothest plays with the biggest brains. Today we've got some competitive gameplay for you featuring some familiar decks. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like today's video. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages too. Anyways, let's see who's playing what. Up first is Cameron and his Selvala deck. This here's a green combo deck. Many of you are probably already familiar with how Selvala combos off, but for those of you who aren't, all you need is Selvala, a big creature, and something to untap her, like Staff of Domination. And with infinite mana made, he usually plans to end the game with a giant finale of devastation. Cameron's starting hand consists of a Forest, a Wirewood Lodge, Utopia Sprawl, Boreal Druid, Kenrith's Transformation, Soul's Majesty, and Staff of Domination. This is a great starting hand. He's got all the lands he needs, Kenrith's Transformation is good interaction, and starting with a combo piece in your opening hand could mean an early win. Alright, and up next is Cody playing Urza. This mono blue deck plays a pretty hard control game, but in the end, it's trying to combo off itself. The combo is the Tidespout Tyrant combo, and for that, all you need is Tidespout Tyrant, and 2 mana positive artifacts. You keep casting and bouncing them, and tapping them in response to make infinite mana, and when you have Urza out, you use all that mana to activate his 5 mana ability, and cast your entire deck. Cody's starting hand is Misty Rainforest, Mystic Sanctuary, Lotus Petal, Grim Monolith, Miscast, Blue Blast, and Copy Artifact. I can't blame Cody for taking this hand. He's got a couple lands, plenty of artifact ramp, and a couple counterspells. Couldn't ask for anything more myself. Up next is Ethan playing Malcolm and Tymna. This deck's main game plan is to get down the Bolas' Citadel, Aetherflux Reservoir, and Sensei's Divining Top combo. With this combo, you just keep putting the top on top and casting it with Bolas' Citadel. Eventually, you'll gain enough life to kill all of your opponents. And Ethan's favorite way of getting this combo out is casting Mind's Desire with a high storm count. But if all else fails, this is also a Thassa's Oracle deck. Ethan's starting hand consists of Command Tower, Windswept Heath, Flooded Strand, Rhystic Study, Dark Confidant, Dark Ritual, and Cabal Ritual. Also, an excellent hand. He's got plenty of land drops to make, and with Rhystic Study and Dark Confidant, he's going to keep that hand full. And last but not least is Justin playing Blood Pod. This deck's main win con is to use Kiki Jiki and Felidar Guardian for an infinite combat damage win. But it also can rely on the Splintered Twin combo at the same time, not just Kiki Jiki. It's also 4 colors and is very interactive. And if Justin gets Birthing Pod on the field, he can potentially instantly win. His starting hand consists of Stomping Ground, Windswept Heath, Badlands, Demonic Tutor, Fire Covenant, Linvala, Keeper of Silence, and Birthing Pod. This hand is honestly excellent. It's got plenty of land drops, Demonic Tutor, and Birthing Pod. If he doesn't win, I'd be surprised. Alright you guys, now that we've seen who's playing what and their hands, let's jump straight into the game. But before that, who do you think's gonna win? Leave it in the comments down below. Cameron wins the die roll and starts his turn off by Utopia Sprawling a Forest, and then passes. Cody plays Misty Rainforest and then casts his Lotus Petal before passing to Justin. And on his turn, Justin plays and cracks his Windswept Heath for a basic forest to the battlefield, and passes to Ethan. Ethan plays his Flooded Strand, cracks it for an Underground Sea, and casts Blood Pet. He passes to Cameron after this. Cameron plays another forest, then casts Selvala and passes to Cody. Cody fetches for a Snow-Covered Island on his end step. He then plays another Snow-Covered Island, taps for 2, and casts Grim Monolith. Afterwards, he passes to Justin. Justin plays his Badlands, taps for 2, and casts Demonic Tutor, searching his library for a card and putting it to his hand. And then passes to Ethan. Ethan plays and fetches with Windswept Heath, finds a Tundra to the battlefield, then taps it to cast Mystic Remora. He then sacrifices Blood Pet to cast Dark Ritual, and then taps for an extra blue to cast Rhystic Study. And everyone at the table groans. And after all of this, he passes to Cameron. Cameron plays Wirewood Lodge as his land, then casts Llanowar Elves and Boreal Druid, paying 1 to both Rhystic Study triggers. Cameron then passes to Cody. Cody starts his turn off by playing Mystic Sanctuary. He then taps his 2 islands and his Grim Monolith to cast Urza. Cody then passes to Justin, who starts his turn off with a Plateau. He then casts Dark Confidant, paying the 1. He then passes to Ethan. Ethan thinks about paying for the fish, and ultimately decides to. He then plays a Command Tower, and then casts Memnite into Dark Confidant before passing to Cameron. And Cameron isn't a big fan of Urza being on the field, so he tries to Kenrith's transformation it. But in response, Cody counterspells it. And Ethan draws a total of 4 cards off this interaction. Cameron then plays a forest as his land for turn. Cameron then casts Woodland Bellower, not paying the 1, and searches for a Wirewood Symbiote to the battlefield. He then bounces Llanowar Elves to his hand to untap Selvala, forgets that he doesn't have a green mana to activate her again, and passes to Cody. Cody plays a Scalding Tarn as his land for turn, then casts Narset, Parter of Veils, not paying for either of Ethan's taxes. He downticks her and finds a Mystical Tutor to his hand. He then passes to Justin, and Justin reveals a Llanowar Elves off the top of his library with Dark Confidant. He then shocks in a Stomping Ground, and then slams down Fire Covenant, trying to decide how much life he wants to pay. And because of Narset, Ethan can only draw 1 card to his taxes. Justin ultimately decides to pay 19 life to the Fire Covenant to wipe everyone's board except for his own, but Cody's not having it, so he fetches for a Snow-Covered Island and miscasts it. And so after that, Justin plays a Llanowar Elves and passes to Ethan. Ethan reveals a Chrome Mox off Dark Confidant, not losing any life, then lets his fish die. He casts a Jeweled Lotus after that, then he casts Chrome Mox, imprinting Time Twister to it. He then uses his Jeweled Lotus to cast Malcolm. He then casts Candelabra and passes to Cameron. It's nice to see him use his legacy cards in an EDH deck. Cameron plays a forest as land for turn, and then goes straight to combat, swinging the Bellower at the Narset. Cody immediately blocks with his Urza bot. But before it dies, Cody uses Urza's ability to cast Mystical Tutor, and Ethan draws a card. Cody finds Polymorph to the top of his library. Cameron then just passes to Cody. Cody then downticks Narset and finds Windfall to his hand, and casts it. And so everyone ditches their hand and draws 1 card thanks to Narset, except for Cody, who draws 7 because Ethan had 7. And Justin responds by Noxious Revivaling his Windswept Teeth to the top of his library. Cody then casts Lion's Eye Diamond and Winter Orb, just to rub it in. And so Cody passes to Justin after that, who reveals Village Bellringer off the top of his library. Justin then plays and cracks his Windswept Teeth for a Plains, and then passes to Ethan. Ethan reveals a Mind's Desire to his Bob trigger. Ethan starts his turn off by moving to combat and swinging Malcolm at Cameron to make a treasure token. He then taps for 2 to cast a Wishclaw Talisman. And after this, he just passes to Cameron. Cameron plays a forest as his land for turn. He then taps Selvala to make 6 green. He then uses 1 of that green to use Wirewood Lodge to untap Selvala. Uses another 1 of that green to tap Selvala, bringing him to 10 mana. He then taps Boreal Druid for mana and uses Wirewood Symbiote's ability to bounce it back to his hand and untap Selvala. He then taps Selvala 1 more time to bring him to 15 green mana and 1 colorless. Cameron casts Genesis Wave, X is equal to 12. Cody takes a good look at it, and then Narset's reversals it. And so the spell is bounced, and Cody looks at the top 12 cards of his library and puts all the permanents onto the battlefield. And oh, look at that, it's Tidespout Tyrant. And so Cody puts Tidespout Tyrant, Everflowing Chalice, Static Orb, Mana Vault, Witching Well, and Aether's Spellbomb, all to the battlefield. He scries 2 to the top with Witching Well, and so poor Cameron Genesis Waves for 1 after that. He does get a Mana Crypt off of it though. And so Cameron just has to pass to Cody. And because Winter Orb was tapped at the beginning of his untap step, he gets to untap all of his lands. Because of Urza, any 0-drop artifact becomes mana positive, so Cody asks if anybody has any responses, and nobody does. He shows a Fierce Guardianship anyway, just in case someone did. And so everyone concedes, and Cody is today's winner. Welcome to the end of the video, you guys. Cody was pretty commanding the entire game, and that Narset's reversal at the end was insane. Did you enjoy it? If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We also absolutely love hearing from all of you guys in the comments. We've gotten a lot of good positive feedback, and a lot of feedback to make our videos even better. We're always open to commander suggestions, video ideas, and editing tips. And once again, if you haven't already, go follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We post a lot of behind the scenes, sneak peeks, and video announcements there. Links will be in the description below. Go check it out. And if you're willing, please consider donating to us on our Ko-fi page. We're looking to get a new camera soon so we can upgrade our quality. Oh, and just one more thing before you guys go. I hope everyone is ready for Strixhaven, because I know everyone here at Smooth Brain EDH is. We're all planning to get the pre-constructed decks and playing them on camera for you guys. Leave a comment down below which one you're most excited to get. I personally am looking forward to the Silver Quill deck. But once again, guys, thank you so much for watching our video. This has been Smooth Brain EDH. Have a smooth day.